Hello, hello. Very excited to be talking about the best books that I read in 2023. This is one of my favorite videos to film because obviously I get to talk about the best books and I love to talk about books that I love. I read 45 books in 2023 and it's actually kind of interesting because I've been thinking about my reading, over the past few years. If you watch me from the beginning of my channel, I used to read like 100 books a year. Obviously I loved that. I loved reading a lot, but then I got to a point where I felt pressured to read a lot and read 100 books a year. And it was negatively affecting my life and my reading. So obviously putting pressure on it was not fun. So I stopped kind of setting that challenge for myself and I stopped worrying about the quantity of books that I was reading. But I think I've kind of taken that too far because I do wish I was reading more. And you obviously do need to make it a priority. And I feel like I haven't been making as much time for it recently. So I want to possibly get back into like setting goals. Like I don't want to set a quantity, but maybe like every day I'll read for at least an hour. Maybe I could even film a fun vlog where I do that, like getting back into reading an hour each day. That could be fun because at the moment I kind of just like read in bursts, which is nice, but I want to get back into more of a routine because I used to read like every day. Anyway, so let's talk about the books. I have 7 books to talk about. So obviously top 7 books of the year, and I haven't really ranked them, but I have number 1 as my favorite book of the year. Let's get into it. First is Heartstopper Volume 5. I adore the Heartstopper series, obviously love the TV show as well. If anyone remembers that video where I read the Heartstopper arc, that is one of my favorites. I loved that moment and I'm so happy to have been here from the beginning. Well, not really the beginning actually, because Alice Oseman posted Heartstopper on Tappers first, which I didn't read, but I've been reading Heartstopper for years now and I love all of the volumes. So in Volume 5, I won't say like huge spoilers, but basically, if you don't know, Heartstopper follows Charlie and Nick. Oh my god, that felt so weird to say Charlie and Nick. Nick and Charlie and their friends and their journey through high school and them navigating their relationship and falling in love. And obviously, they're lovers. So this volume kind of is about the pressures of, deciding where you want to go to college, what you want to do with your life, all of that, which is obviously like relatable to everyone. So it honestly made me happy that I wasn't a teenager anymore. Because I was like, thank God I don't have to deal with this stress. But me and Kaz actually read this together. It was so nice. So we assigned different characters to each other. I think I was Charlie and she was Nick. And then we also voiced the other characters. We read it aloud together. It was so special. So that definitely enhanced the reading experience. But I just always love the Heartstopper volumes because it has a mix of everything. It has discussions on mental health, love, relationships, so many cute moments, of course, because Nick and Charlie are the cutest couple of all time. And the FaceTime falling asleep moment, so cute. And it also deals with, heavier topics. There's so many different queer relationships, which I love. And yeah, all of their friends I love. Like, it's just really fun. And it's really fun to read it as well after watching the show because I can picture those actors as the characters. And I can also like listen to the Heartstopper soundtrack, Well, we didn't do that, but I saw a TikTok about that and I thought that was a good idea. So maybe for the next volume I'll do that. It's just really fun. And I adore Heartstopper and I don't know how anyone could hate Heartstopper because it's just perfection. Another book that I adored was Sirens and Muses by Antonia Angress. This was such a standout read for 2023. I loved it. It has so many aspects that I love. So this book basically features a sapphic relationship that is super intense, super sensual, super artistic. They're both very passionate about the arts. It's set at an art school, and this book also has beautiful writing. So many stunning quotes. Actually, let me go to one of my favorites. Art is the only salvation from the horror of existence. Any book about the girlies, about people in love, about art, I will most likely love. And the fact that it also has beautiful writing, thank you. I was really nervous about reading this because the cover is stunning and I really hoped to love it. And it was one of these books where I had a lot of pressure to love it. And thankfully it didn't disappoint. It was stunning. I also appreciate that the characters are quite flawed and messy. I love my messy, flawed characters. So they felt very real. This book definitely has a lot of substance. So adore it. Okay, so this was my last book that I read in 2023. I Need Art, Reality Isn't Enough by Hen Kim. Hen Kim is a South Korean illustrator and she actually illustrated the iconic Normal People cover. But yeah, I saw this at the bookstore. It caught my eye, so I got it without knowing much about it. And yeah, this is a memoir. So it follows Hen Kim from when she was a teenager to her 30s, I believe. So she's a very creative person. Obviously, she's an artist, but she is in a job that she doesn't love and is quite soul-sucking. So we see her decide to pursue a career in the arts, and it's really beautiful. She deals with depression. She shows her relationships with her, romantic partners and her family. And I just really appreciated it and related to a lot. And I really just loved the way it was told, because I feel like it's one of those books where if you go to one page, it might seem quite simple, but reading it from the start to the end, obviously as it's intended, it's really powerful. And I just really loved the flow, the pace, obviously the art. I'll read one of my favorite passages. Enjoying the worlds created by writers, I felt how narrow my own was. Books widened my world. I spent time in the school library every day, feeling like I was inside each writer's home, sitting with them and listening to their stories. Isn't that stunning? Okay, a really special moment because one of my favorite people in the world, Momo, released her debut book in 2023. And I was lucky enough to receive an early copy. So this is the ARC. I do have the final copy as well. Look how beautiful that cover is. But I wanted to show this ARC because this is what I read from. I have all my annotations and I will cherish this forever. I do feel kind of guilty talking about this right now because unfortunately you can't get it at the moment because Momo has exciting things happening. So she had to take it off Amazon. But follow her for updates. You'll definitely be able to get it in the future at some point. But yeah, this was amazing. I absolutely adored this book and felt like it was so necessary. And I'm just so proud of Momo. And obviously I hoped to love it, but I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. Like, this is a 5 out of 5 star read for me. The tagline is, everyone wants to know the secrets of a stripper, but no one is willing to pay the price. So basically this follows Annie Wilson, and she is stuck in the same hometown that she hates. She's a writer, she's a passionate feminist, and she falls into the world of stripping. So this is the first book that I've ever read about that. So I feel like, yeah, it was very needed. Okay, I need to share one of my favorite quotes. I'm tired of hiding and cowering, not from men, but from you, the women who refuse to see that I exist, that I don't just survive, I shine and transform and live. I create and dismantle my reality every single night to become whoever I want to be. You dismiss me because I'm your deepest fear. A woman completely in control. I know who you are because I used to be you. I'm not just a stripper. I'm not a failure, a cautionary tale, or a punchline. I stand with the women who keep dancing even when their shoes hurt, while everyone tries to trip us up. No matter what you throw at us, we shake it off. We learn from your mistakes, adapt, and come out on top, because that's what women do. Now ask yourself, is there room in your feminism for me? This particular conversation on feminism I've never read about in a book before, so I really appreciated it and needed it at the time. So yeah, I just appreciated this book so much, and it's definitely a hard book to read at times. So as soon as I finished it, I wrote this review, and I wrote, this book was captivating, raw, and authentic. I finished it in tears, feeling inspired, hopeful, passionate, and so proud to be a woman. With the amount of stigma still attached to sex work, I hope this will help those who still judge and shame women who engage in sex work to rethink their perspective. This book perfectly showcases the importance of nuance when it comes to discussions of sex work. It's raw in its depiction, it's not afraid to show the harsh realities of being a stripper, alongside the love, community, and empowerment that can be gained. It highlights how so many people refuse to see strippers as human beings, doing a job that they deserve to be paid for. It's also the first book I've read that incorporates pole dance, which is a huge part of my life. So I loved that aspect of the book. The main character is a bisexual baddie who is a passionate feminist, and I quickly fell in love with her. The characters felt super fleshed out, and I was invested in the story from start to finish. I felt seen, angry at the systems we exist in as women, empowered, and a huge feeling of catharsis. It showcases the power and beauty of sisterhood. It's sex positive. It shows the realities of complex family dynamics in a way I've never seen before. There's so much to love. I spent a lot of time in my review, so I just wanted to read that out because obviously that's how I felt reading this book, and yeah, I just adore it. I can't wait to reread it. I'm so excited for Momo, obviously so proud, and yeah, I can't wait for everyone else to be able to read it. Okay, 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. Of course, I feel like I've talked about this book quite a lot actually because it's one of my favorite romance books of all time. I say it's my favorite, but maybe it's my second favorite because my number one book is a romance. So anyway, I adore this book so much. I had the time of my life reading it. Although I should say it is also quite a heavy read. It deals with a lot of different topics including addiction, complex family relationships, mental illness. My favorite romance books are those that have romance as the focus, but it also showcases the other aspects of the characters' lives, which is what this book does. So I just love it because there's so much to love about it. I absolutely adore the characters. Shane is everything. Ava is everything. And this is a second chance romance. So basically, Shane and Ava have 7 beautiful days together in June when they are young, 15 years ago, and they've become authors, and then they see each other 15 years later and they're like, so they reunite, and oh my god, it's everything. And the fact that they're authors, like they can communicate through their books, it's literally one of the best romances of all time. And the execution was everything. And I need to read more T. Williams books because, oh wow, I was screaming and I had all the amazing feelings that comes with reading an amazing romance book. So I love it. So many good scenes. I just love it. Okay, then of course I have to talk about Chain of Iron, which I forgot that I read last year because I think it was in January when I was at Caitlin's house in New Zealand. Oh my god, we had the best time reading this. This is the second book in the Last Hours trilogy. I read Chain of Gold, absolutely loved it years ago. I started Chain of Iron and never continued. So this was a long time coming. I was like, oh my god, have I waited too long? Like, am I still gonna love it? Oh my god, I absolutely adored it. Caitlin and I read this together in real life and it was just so fun because I think we read it in a few days. I actually vlogged it, so I should probably rewatch that vlog for happiness, but we were just both so invested and it's just so beautiful when I get to buddy read a book with Caitlin and we both just feel the same way. So we're both just like absolutely in love and like so passionate about it. And the fact we got to buddy read it in real life, it was just everything. And you know, this is a big book, but yeah, we read it in a few days, I think. I remember we spent like one whole day reading it and we both just couldn't stop thinking about it and we were like, we need to finish that book. Oh, some of my favorite memories ever. These characters are just everything. This world is just so cozy and comforting to me, obviously. Shadowhunters just love to have fun and they're so romantic, and obviously there's always some drama going on. Like, it's so easy to read these books. There were many screaming moments because Cordelia and James, my favorite Shadowhunters couple for sure. Oh, and Cordelia loves Rumi poetry. Oh, she's a beautiful Persian queen. Oh my god, there's actually just way too much. And it's set in London. Lucy Harriet. Oh, there's too much to love about this book. I need to reread it actually. And some really gorgeous quotes. So good. Maybe this is my number one. I don't know. It's either this or the next book. So yeah, this is everything. Okay, so the final book and the book that I say is number one, The Right Move by Liz Tomford. Oh my god, this was everything to me. This is a romance book. It's the second book in the Windy City series, which is a sports romance companion series. So basically we follow Indy, who has to room with Ryan Shea, who is the captain of the Devils Chicago NBA team. So he's a stunning basketball player, and Indy was in a really long-term relationship. I think it was 7 years. She got cheated on, is going through a really bad breakup and needs somewhere to stay. So she's staying with Ryan. And obviously as someone who also went through a breakup after being in a really long relationship, I just related to a lot. And I love Indy because she's such a ray of sunshine, and Ryan is very just like, he's very closed off. So he has a lot of walls up that she has to break down, and I just loved reading about it. It's definitely a slow burn vibe. And you know, there's the fake dating element, and Ryan is, he's truly something, and I really love him. Their scenes together, like their love is so passionate, and you know, obviously Liz Tomford really knows how to write some stunning romance scenes. This was my first Liz Tomford, and wow, what a magical experience it was. So yes, literally love you, Right Move. Okay, so those are my favorite books that I read in 2023. I would love to know your favorites, / if you just want to tell me your absolute favorite, if you can choose. I'm excited for my 2024 reads. Hopefully we all have a stunning reading year. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're looking for more content from me, I have a Patreon always linked below, which is where I upload extra content. So we do live shows, we have a monthly buddy read, I upload extra vlogs there and more. If you want to connect with me on my socials, that's always linked below. I hope you're all having a good day or night, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video.